Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm glad that you could be here today with us on Wednesday. Yes, the 22nd of January, 2025. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Story Time. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that your loved ones are doing well. I hope that indeed you're enjoying the start of the year. Thank you indeed for being here. And yeah, 22 days in already. It seems so fast. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we do have a thinking book today, one that, yes, hopefully gets us thinking not just this morning, but throughout the day as we go. And this one is called What About Philosophy? An illustrated Q&A book for kids. And it is written by several people, and pardon me on my French pronunciations here. The author is Gwanaelle Boulet and Anne-Sophie Chulard, and then illustrations are by Pascal Lemaitre. And I hope I'm getting that correct. But we try. Find it at your local library and get to enjoy it. And this one is coming to us today from TWIRL Books, which is an imprint of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. So, as always, a big thank you indeed to Chronicle Books for allowing us to share books from Chronicle, of course, and their partner prints. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I hope that you are doing well. I know that there's been a cold weather going on in Louisiana, parts of Texas, and all different kinds of extreme weather patterns going on in different parts of the country and the world, of course. And we hope that you're doing well. We hope that you're able to ride those out, and indeed that the authorities in those places do have the facilities or putting measures in place that help mitigate the effects of those weather conditions. Thank you so much for being here with us today on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. This book, well, it covers a lot of topics, and we're going to pick two today. Fortunately, due to time, we can only pick a few. But some of the questions that are being asked in here: what is bravery? What does it mean to be free? What is time? What does it mean to be smart? Why do humans exist? And many others, right? And so we're going to read the author's note and then get into those two topics that we're going to look at. And then, of course, hopefully we'll bring back this book here to Storytime another time, and so hopefully we dive into other topics then. And if there's anything that you feel like, hey, I would want to look at that particularly, let me know so we can always do that for next time. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Good morning. How are you doing today? Yes, morning ingredients. How are you doing today, Megan? And of course, Ari, thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. And Ari, you say you have no school today. Well, enjoy it. Enjoy the time at home. And I'm glad too that you could be here live with us. I know you were trying to log in yesterday, but I think had some difficulties. I'm glad glad you're here. Kathy, I hope you're doing well out there in Ohio. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. We do have a fantastic book to read together. What About Philosophy? Yes, an illustrated Q&A book for kids, but I think it's not only for kids, it's for everybody, right? So come on in and join and enjoy this wonderful, wonderful book. Thank you for joining us, Ari, out there in Kentucky. Thank you for being here. To everybody that's joining us later on for the recordings, thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to be a part of the Storytime community. And we hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Oh, have had a wonderful rest of the day by the time you get to this one. Thank you indeed for being here. We'll be right back after this short break for our story for today. I hope you're as excited as I am for it. Thank you so much for joining in here on Storytime. I'll see you on the other side of this very short message.
Hi, my name is Zetta Elliott, and I am the author of 40 books for kids, including Dragons in a Bag and A Place Inside of Me. You're watching Storytime with Mr. Limata.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining in here on Storytime. Zetta Elliott, creator of wonderful, wonderful books. If you're at your library next time, ask for books from Zetta Elliott and get to enjoy them. But yeah, here we go. Our story for today, our book for today. What About Philosophy? An illustrated Q&A book for kids. But I think it's for everybody, adults too. Yeah, this one is written by Gwanaelle Boulet and Anne-Sophie Chulard, and illustrations by Pascal Lemaitre. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. We are reading this one with permission of the publishers, of course, TWIRL Books, an imprint of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Let's start with the author's note, and it says note to the readers. Why do we exist? What is love? Why is there war? These kinds of big life questions are what philosophy is all about. Curious people, young and old, have always wondered why the world is the way it is. Yet, these philosophical questions rarely have one simple answer. The purpose of this book is to help guide you as you think about the many possible answers to life's big questions. The ideas explored here were inspired by classroom discussions and consultation with philosophers Oscar Brenifer and Jean-Charles Petier. The fun, accessible text and whimsical illustrations are your key to discovering how to think for yourself and form your own opinions. And I think that is key, right? As we look at these topics, as we come across information and so many other things. Yeah, how do we form our own opinion, our informed opinion? Oh, love it. Oh, love it, Ari. We're watching on the monitor with Maple and the Barbies. Oh, love it, love it, love it. That sounds really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Ari. Appreciate it. Barbies, good morning to you, and of course Maple. Where's who's the other one I'm blanking out on right now? Oh, let me know. Remind me the name of the other cat. Maple and Cyrus. I think it is Cyrus. How is Cyrus doing? All right, so we do have a bunch of topics in here, and we're going to be picking out just two today because of time. So let's start with, is it bad to make a mistake? What do you think? All right, here we go. Is it bad to make a mistake? Page 39. And here we go. Is it bad to make a mistake? What do you think? I must have made a mistake. Let's say, well, is it bad to make a mistake? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. How are you doing today, Kathy? Good to see you. Good to see you here. And you say it is very cold out there. Well, I hope that you're staying warm and yeah, a good cup of tea or something, and maybe some noodles, something that will keep you warm. And of course, story time, right? Thank you so much for joining in, Kathy. I appreciate you. Cypress. Oh, so close. Thank you, Harry. Appreciate the correction. Oh my goodness, Cypress, I will not forget. All right. Yes, it can be annoying, embarrassing, or sometimes very serious to make a mistake. Yeah, when we make a mistake in front of others, we sometimes feel ashamed. We sometimes we sometimes feel ashamed, and that's not very pleasant. Yeah. If we fail at something, we're afraid we've disappointed people and we might think they'll reject us. When we make a mistake, we might be punished. Sometimes we're punished by our own mistakes. This guy, for example, they wore the wrong bathing suit and now they can't swim. Oh no. Even if you don't do it on purpose, making a mistake can sometimes have very serious consequences. Yeah. But is it bad to make a mistake? No, it's not so bad to make a mistake. Not always, right? For example, everybody makes mistakes. We know that. You can make up for or fix some mistakes. Yeah. Sometimes when we make a mistake, we discover something new that we didn't expect, right? We don't always succeed on the first try. We often have to make several mistakes before getting it right. There isn't just one way of seeing things. What seems like a mistake for one person isn't necessarily so for another. Yeah, right. Lots of good points to think about on that. And I think one of the ones that comes to mind is, I think, is it penicillin that was discovered, through, or it was supposed to be, it was a mistake, and that ended up landing on penicillin. But when you think of all the different uses, the good that it has done in the world, right? So you can think of that. Sometimes when we make a mistake, we discover something new that we didn't expect. Yeah. We don't always succeed on the first try. We often have to make several mistakes before getting it right. Yeah, so making a mistake in that way allows you to refine your work, make it better and better, right? There isn't just one way of seeing things. What seems like a mistake for one person isn't necessarily so for another. Yeah. It was a mistake to change your hair. You look really weird like that. You think? It works for me. I don't want to look like everybody else. Definitely something to think about. Well, that is one of the questions. Is it always bad to make a mistake? Should we be afraid to make a mistake? When we are afraid of not knowing something, we panic, and that can cause us to freeze or make mistakes. However, in order to be able to do something, we often have to risk making a mistake. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Right? Take this too, for example. Is this the way to the horses? Oh no, we went the wrong way. What do we do now? Oh well, let's turn around. It's safer. We came all this way to see the horses. Let's try going in that direction. Ah, there they are. Right? In order to be able to do something, we often have to risk making a mistake. Yeah, take that step. Try. Well, we've looked at one question. Is it always bad to make a mistake? I'll leave you to form an opinion for that one. How about this one? I know, Ari, you're not at school today. Why do we go to school? Let's go to page 55 and read that one. Why do we go to school? What do you think? Why do we go to school? Great question, isn't it? All right. Yeah, I know you have things that you're thinking about already. And let's see, do you agree with what the book says or not? At school, we learn lots of things. Yeah. At school, we meet and mingle. At school, we learn to be responsible for ourselves. Yeah. Do you agree? Did you know that gum takes 5 years to decompose naturally? My teacher said so. Oh, really? Which is more fun, knowing things or sharing what you know? Good morning to you, Tari. How are you doing today? Happy Wednesday indeed. Thank you so much for joining us out there in Bothell, Washington. Good to see you. I hope that your Wednesday is off to a great start. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Story Time. Yeah, why do we go to school? At school, we learn lots of things. Do you agree with that? At school, we meet and mingle. I agree with that one. I think some of my closest friends now I met at school. My partner I met at school. So yeah, I think at school we meet and mingle. At school, we learn to be responsible for ourselves. Yeah. A report on Abraham Lincoln, I know all about him. I can help. That's nice. That's nice, Mom. But I already found all the information on the internet and at the library. It is useful to learn how to do things without your parents. Yeah. Oh, we go to school to make mistakes and learn. Oh, I love that, Ari. I love that. That should be a sentence in this book somewhere. I love it. Thank you, Ari. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, love it. Yeah, what else? Well, why is school required? Apparently, people thought so all children would have to go to school. Oh, really? But why? To annoy us? No, for our own good. How can something I don't like very much be good for me? But can we always tell what's good for us? What about you? Do you know why you go to school? Something to think about. And of course, Ari, oh, I love that answer. Of course, you say we go to school to make mistakes and learn. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. This was our book for today. We're just going to tackle those two topics, but there's a lot more in this book, as you know. What about philosophy? An illustrated Q&A book for kids. I think it's for everybody, really. Questions for all of us to ponder, including what is bravery? What is it like to be in love? What does it mean to be free? What is time? I hope we can read that next time. What does it mean to be smart? Yeah, what is that? Why do humans exist? Oh, and so many other things, so many other questions in this wonderful book from TWIRL Books. And of course, it is an imprint of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. I'll be right back after this short break. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in today on Storytime.
Hi, friends. I'm Marietta Apollonio, the author and illustrator of Jack the Library Cat, and you are watching my family's favorite Storytime with Mr. Limata. Bye.
Welcome back indeed, Marietta Apollonia out there in Harvard, Massachusetts. Henry, Nick, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. And thank you for being here with us on Storytime. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful book. Tori, thank you for joining us and say, I'll have to get this for our school library. Please do. It is a fantastic book. And lots and lots of questions in here that we didn't even get to. I'm just going to open really quickly to the table of contents, and yeah, some of those questions that we mentioned, but it is a lot. What is it like to be in love? What does it mean to be brave? What does it mean to be smart? What does it mean to be free? Oof. Why do we get jealous? Do we always have to be kind? Is it bad to make a mistake? Well, we just read that one. Do we always have to share? Oh, why? What is money for? Why are there wars? Oof. Why do we go to school? What is time? Fair or unfair? What is the purpose of history? Oof. What is anger? So many questions to ponder. Please, like Tori, find it at your local library. Or indeed, if you have the means, add it to your own library, your local library, your book library, your school library, your classroom library, wherever it is. I think this book belongs. Thank you so much for being here with us today on Storytime. I absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for joining us today, Tori. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday out there in Bothell, Washington. And of course, Ari, thank you so much for your wisdom as always. Thank you for joining us from out there in Kentucky. Please do stay warm. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, Cypress. And of course, appreciate you and Maple and the Barbies, everybody for joining in. Thank you for being here with us on Storytime. And of course, in Ohio, where it is extremely cold right now, thank you for joining us, Kathy. And of course, Luna, sending you big hugs and hope you have a wonderful day. This has been Storytime for today, a Wednesday, the 22nd of January, 2025. Goodness gracious, time is flying. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. And of course, we hope that you can join us for another story tomorrow, the day after, and of course, many days to come after that. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Have yourselves a wonderful day. I hope that, yes, this book and of course other books that you're reading, share your recommendations with us. Let us know what you'd like to see here on Storytime. Thank you for being here. Biggest of hugs. I will see you again tomorrow when we're back with another exciting story. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. People who look like me, others very different from the way that I look and think. Read me all of their stories. Read me all of their stories. Some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Ooh. Story time. Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.